Good morning.
Good morning.
So, yet again, another part of Commit.js, the 9th episode. So next time we're going to have a celebration for the 10th episode.
Our mini party.
Online part. Yeah. So, today what we're going to do is, of course, continue the quest from last time.
It turned out to be a bigger quest than expected.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Definitely.
I thought that it's going to be, no, to be honest, at first I thought that it's going to be much harder, but now since we already know how lit HTML works, it feels a little bit, I don't know, easier. Even though we're not doing the things correctly, but we can always come back and refactor them at a certain point. Okay, so last time, actually, our application, or at least the demo app, because we commented all the other things that we wrote in the other previous commits just to test the logic that we're doing for lit HTML, wasn't working because actually we didn't know why, but after we stopped the episode, we kind of looked at the code here, where we actually are getting our commit function. And
you are not showing the code.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm really sleepy today.
We were just talking about how important coffee is for the commit.js. It's not a proper commit.js if you don't have coffee.
Yeah, but I was showing the code to myself. I was just.
Well, you were seeing what you were expecting, so.
Yeah, everything was fine just until you mentioned.
And you were like,
Okay.
Look here at that function, and I'm looking at the screen, and there are no functions, and I'm what?
Okay, sorry about that. So yeah,
can you also just zoom in once? Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I know that I have to do it anyways. So yeah, we made this get commit function that we are using inside our application. We are also providing a context, but if you don't know what that is, go and watch the previous episode. So the problem here was actually that this line was actually placed here, and it was kind of changing the value before it should have. So by just moving it from here to here, we kind of fixed. Let me just turn off my notifications. Yep. We actually made everything work. So the problem is that actually we need to change the value whenever we commit. So we're calling the update function on the template instance, but the real change of the value should be after, like, we call the commit node of the current instance, right? Because this is the template instance, so it's pretty logical to change the value here. And after we built the lit HTML, our lit HTML, I actually pushed it on our GitHub. So it should be under the commit.js lit HTML. There it is, the modified version, the version that we're going to be using from now on. And after we did that, it looks like everything is working properly. Yep, maybe. I guess we should continue with the other stuff. So there is like one delay here that is happening, and this is only because we're inside the application. Whenever we are committing the changes, we're using a set timeout, and this is the reason why the first thing changes after a while, and then the other thing changes, just because we are having set timeouts. So it's not something that it's broken. As you see, it's working. So there are other things that we should fix. I was just before we started the episode, I was looking around, and I noticed this, the update function that we're calling here. Actually, we should change this behavior. It's going to be a little bit different now, because if we go here and look at the update function, let's see where it is. No, this is the template result. We need a template instance. Yep. So the update function, what it does is it iterates all over the parts and it sets the values, but it also commits those values. And this is something that we don't want to happen, because we actually want to be able to call the commit whenever we want at a certain point, right? So what we actually want to have is update without commit, the same thing that we have also here. And actually in the parts, what we want to be returning is we actually want to be setting the values here. Or yeah, just it's not update, but okay, update all the values. And inside this function, we want to actually commit all the values. Right? I mean, this is the logic that we actually want. And this is the logic that we're kind of doing here. I also see that the update, it's kind of not doing the same here, but it was kind of different, I think, because this was a template. This is the template instance. Wait, I'm kind of maybe mistaking. If this is a template instance, yeah, we call the update, but here we actually construct the template instance and we call update. Guys, any ideas how we should proceed? Because I'm pretty sure that this is not correct here.
So can you once again explain what is like our end destination? Because let's say I have like white spots from the last time. I remember that we had problem with the commits and stuff, and we wanted to create our own update function so that we can use it in the work loop that we implemented like a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah. So the work loop, it has two how should I say, two steps. The first step is to set all the values, and the second step is to commit the values. Whenever like we call the commit, it actually puts those changes inside the HTML, like DOM. So we want to separate these parts, like we want to call them into different locations, not at once. And here, as we see, we're not doing the exact thing. We're kind of like setting the values and calling commit right after we call the update function. So this is something that we don't want, right? At least.
Yep.
So what I suggest that we do is just have update without commit. Like that, we can get all the values, but here, instead of iterating all over the parts, I can just cut this and just return all the parts. Let's say this parts, like that. And then I guess inside the parts itself, we're going to use the update here, update without commit. I'm not sure why this is not working, since it should already know, yeah, that this is a template instance. So yeah, we see that it's working. We have all the parts here, and now we just need to iterate all over them inside this function. And this is what I was talking about. I think that this is the correct behavior. If you have any other suggestions, please let me know. And of course, here as well, probably is going to be a good idea. Let's say, just wondering, yeah, I think it should be like that as well. So we get all the parts, and here we commit the fragment, but before that we can iterate all over the parts and just, let's see what's going to happen, but it looks fine to me. Yeah. I don't know.
And are the commit note and values supposed to be there after we changed our logic?
Sorry?
Are the 365 and 66 supposed to be there after we change the logic of committing, because right now we are committing the parts, so should we commit also the node?
But the commit node is, let's see what we currently have. This is the node part. So the node part should also commit, because this is the how should I say? This is the container that is actually going to hold our template. So we need to commit it as well. So yeah, I think it should be like this. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's build it and see what's going to happen. Let's say, what was it? npm run build, or just build, I don't know. Yep. And let's see what's going to happen. Hopefully, yep, our application is going to compile, and yep, everything's working fine, I think. At least looks so. Okay, perfect. So let's see what we are missing from this implementation. So currently we have two components, and inside the test component, we're just presenting some text. And this test component, we're using it here. But how do we get notified if this title changes, for example? Do we get notified?
That's a good question.
We can do a setter and getter, right?
Yeah.
And this way we can actually get notified if this part gets called. But my question is, wouldn't it be better to be able to call like some kind of a callback whenever we have an updated value? Just because, for example, we probably would not want to have a setter and getter for each individual value. I'm talking about something that we, for example, have in Angular called ng-on changes, or inside the web components, we have attribute change callback, something that gets called whenever one of the attributes gets changed. One of the attributes that we currently watch gets changed, but wouldn't it be better to implement something like this? Or maybe we should leave it for the future, because we currently don't need it. I don't know. What do you suggest?
No, I think it would be better to just leave it for next time, so that we finish our what we have right now, and maybe in the end, if we have some extra time, we can look into it.
Yeah, okay. I really don't mind. So I think that what we currently have is okay. So what we can do now is try to test it with our previous application, right? So let's comment this thing out, and let's see how it's going to work and what we have to change inside our work loop. Or any other suggestions?
That sounds like a good one, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to comment this. Of course, we're going to need these declarations. This is going to be interesting. I'm actually going to put this in a separate file and export it so we can reuse it across our different components. And at a certain point, we can implement something like ng modules. So we can actually have different kind of separation between the different parts, and this can be kind of not so ugly, better looking. So let's say, how should I say it? Like app module, let's say. Export const declarations should be like, I think it should be like, let's say module or app module, something like that. Or maybe, yep. And here we're going to have the declarations. And as any, we can remove this. So declarations is going to be some kind of a object. The keys are going to be the selectors of the individual components, and the value is just going to be the constructor function of the components. Okay, and let's go inside the index HTML, index.ts, sorry, and let's uncomment our application. So I think we don't need actually this. So here inside the bootstrap, what are we doing? We're just getting the constructor function. We're getting the app element and constructing the thing. So it looks pretty okay.
Yep.
The only problem here is that whenever we're constructing our components, this means that we're going to construct the template. So we need to connect the other components that we have inside this inside the app component before calling the bootstrap, right? So
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that if you, for example, are writing Angular, you actually provide the module. This is a good idea, actually, when you think about it. Inside the app module, you actually put the bootstrap component. So you have to like configure first the app module, and then you provide it to the bootstrap. So let's actually do the same thing. I mean, it's pretty logical, right? Yeah. So let's say here we have a bootstrap. And inside this bootstrap, we're going to have an array. And inside this array, we're going to get the app component, which is from the current directory, things like that. Yep. And just provide it here. And we also can actually declare it here inside the declarations, just in case. So in our scenario, it's going to be a little bit different, but we can always change that. So the app component is this, the HG root. I'm wondering if, why don't we go inside the component decorator and just do something like this. We actually don't need to define that. No, we need to define it just because otherwise it won't know what to do. But let's do something like this: cmp.selector or prototype.selector equals selector. Just because it's going to be easier just to type the class and then the .selector in order to get this string, right? I think it's going to be more convenient to do something like so. And now what I can do is here inside the module, I can just do something like app component.selector. And then I can just give the app component, something like that. Since we are using TypeScript, I'm just going to say it like so. And I'm just wondering what's going to happen. But anyways, let's provide our other declarations that we are currently going to have. So our other components, this is the router component, the router link component, and we also have test1 and test2, and I think that's all right. Yeah. So import from router component, and then also the router link component. Router link components, and then we also need the test1 and test2. Okay, test2, and then we need test component and test2. And now we need to do the same for them, I guess. We can change this, like make it better after we finish like the work loop, because it's been taking a while. Actually, okay, let's do like so and like so, and maybe move this part here.
Yeah, it was like
it was bugging me as well.
Sorry,
it was bugging us.
It was like test1 router, test1. I'm like, why?
So it was router.
Okay, guys. I mean, after all, we're all working together. So I mean, of course, I'm going to do this.
I just got scared for like half a second because I'm like, why? But yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I feel your pain. Don't worry. Okay, so we configured our app module. So now what we need to do is go inside the Bootstrap, and we have to change the logic a little bit. So let's go to the Bootstrap. And inside the Bootstrap, what are we going to do is just pretty much get the module. We don't have a type currently. Probably it will be a good idea to actually create a type.
Yeah, for the component and for the module.
Yeah, so maybe I'm wondering if we should. Yeah, okay. Let's create a module. Yes. So where is the app module? Let's see. We have declarations and Bootstrap currently, so it's not going to be very hard to create it. Export interface, module, and this is going to be an array. So the keys are going to be string, and this is going to be, I don't know, a component, or we had something like this, right? That's right.
We have component there, yeah.
It's very simple, but let's say any. So we don't have any problems with the TypeScript now. I mean, probably it will be a good idea to just have another episode where we can fix everything with the TypeScript, because otherwise we won't be able to finish the workload today as well.
Yeah.
So let's have the generic function like so, the generic interface, and just put it here. And whenever we decide, we can just do a refactoring and just fix it. So let's import it from, interfaces module, module, like so. And here, what we need to do is actually get the Bootstrap. So let's say, so currently we can only support one Bootstrap component, but that doesn't bother us, because we are not currently. This is a keyword. We're not currently going to support multiple things, so let's just get the first Bootstrap component and use it to create our thing. So why did we do this? We did it so we can actually have already connected all the declarations for the current component, and whenever we actually provide the Bootstrap component, whenever lit-html uses the functionality that we currently, not currently, but we previously developed, it can actually use these components and construct them by itself with the functionality that we created. And here, what we need to do is use this module from boots. No, what was it? Module?
App module.
App module. Oops. Come on. Okay, app module, like so. And yeah, looks like Angular, right?
Yeah, it's getting there.
It's getting there. Okay. Okay, we did this. Now what we need to do is go inside the component decorator and change everything. Sounds fun. So what we need to change is we actually. So let's see what we're doing. So somewhere we're actually creating the template. We have the template function that we're getting. So let's see what we're doing with it. Here we actually are calling it, and then we're using this render without commit that is from outside the library. So what we want to do is actually import it from here, right? Because we already have it there. And probably it's going to be a good idea just to remove it from here. I don't want to keep things that we don't use. Okay, this is the first thing that we need to do. And the second thing is, let's see what we were doing in the demo. So we call render without commit. We get the template node. Actually, I'm going to copy it. Okay. Let's paste it here. Oops. Okay, let's comment it. And let's see. So here we need to get the template. So let's say const template equals this function. So we provide the template, we provide the root, and then we need to provide the declarations. So here we're actually going to provide the app module, like so. Yep. That's what we need to do, but here is going to be the commit function, and we need to return the commit function, right?
And I guess that you have trouble inside the get commit function because I'm not sure if the structure of the new app module is a little bit different than the context that we used in the last episode.
It actually is the same because here the context, it only has, we're only using declarations, like it was an object that it was holding declarations, and here we also have the declarations.
Yes,
so.
But you have to access the declarations, right? Not just the context. You should say like context declarations.
But we are actually using it.
Are we?
Yep. So here, no, it was inside the template. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
So everything's fine with the structure. The only thing that we need to change is actually with these things. We need to move them. Wait, let's think about it. I think that we should move these things up here. Yep. Because the real work that is going to be done is actually the commit function.
So, makes sense to me.
No. It should be like so. Let's see what we were doing in the work loop. So inside the work loop, we had two phases. One is process work. Yeah, so the process work is actually whenever we're calling the individual updates. So actually in the commit work is where we need to do the rest of it. So the process work, what it does is, I think that we should kind of fix this as well, right?
Yeah, it could be good.
In what way?
Well, in a way that the process work should actually be returning the commit function. And the commit function, we need to be calling it here inside the commit work. So yeah, I think that this is what we need to do currently. Because as you see, here we're like getting the result, and we're concatenating to the result, and this is the individual parts. But currently, the work function is actually going to be this function that we're returning, the commit function. Yep. So we need to kind of change the logic because we're not going to have parts anymore. So here inside the result, we are actually going to have like a function that doesn't return anything or just returns any or something like that, right? And here, the work is also not going to be returning a node part. I'm just going to say any for now. So this is going to be the commit function, like so. This is going to be the commit function. The result is... Does that make sense? So it's a function that returns another function that returns any. So I think everything's fine. And here we just need to say C and just call it commit, like so, and just call it, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yep. Okay, so let's test it out.
Should work.
Yeah, should work, but we see it's not working.
I mean, with so many changes, it would have been like...
extent is not a function. What?
Where?
Probably I need to restart it.
Yeah, try that.
Yeah.
Strange error.
Let's see inside the index TS. We have everything that we need, right? I think that we have everything that we need, but it keeps complaining here inside the components that extents is not a function, and I'm not sure why. Oh, component is undefined.
So
what?
But you're declaring it? What?
No. This is probably because I'm just declaring it. But
yeah, you are declaring.
I don't understand why it's failing to.
It's not going in at all.
I think that probably if we look at the JavaScript files.
Yeah, maybe they'll hold the key.
The thing is that, let's see, component. Come on. Component.js, do we have such a thing? No, it's inside the bundle. I'm not sure how we can get into this part. Have we changed something? That's really interesting. Why it's failing?
It's not building properly, I think.
Okay, let's see where this thing is getting called from. This is the test one.
Okay.
But why is it failing on test one? I mean, that's strange because it seems like the other functions are getting, now it's the router.
That's awfully strange. Why?
Wait. I think are we doing a mistake? Are we using, we were using the HTML function before, right? We didn't implement our own HTML, or we did? I think we didn't. We just modified the
original one.
Yeah, so here we're using the HTML tests. So we get the template, then we render without commit, and then say commit. Okay, well, let's go inside our app component. I think that the problem is how lit HTML is constructing currently the individual components, and for some reason something changes. Maybe, I'm not sure, even though it's inside the decorator. So I'm not very sure what's happening, but let's start with the app module and see what's going on there. If everything is getting constructed properly first, and then inside the bootstrap, let's go and put a breakpoint here. As we see, yeah, I mean, it's normal to just get here, but I'm not sure. The target is test one component. And test one component is failing to extend for some reason. Okay, let's remove the test one component then. That's really strange. Everything looks,
yeah, it looks proper.
Pretty okay here. I'm not sure why it's failing. Okay, let's do another thing just in order to get it work. Let's go here and let's say that we're actually going to target ES6. This means that we actually are going to have classes and everything should work, right?
Should work.
I mean, because currently we're transpiling it to ECMAScript 5, and there we need the extends keyword. So let's see what's going to happen here. Rest is not a function. Okay.
Excuse me. Why? It should be included.
Yes. What should we put here? Like, let's see. Let's put yes 2020. Oh wow! I'm not sure why this is failing. It's really strange. Obviously, it's working. Okay. Cannot access router component before. Okay, now we're hitting something else.
Before this, sorry.
I see. So I think that the problem actually is because I think that the problem currently is because how we are using the because we created this component decorator. No, directive. No, where was it? Inside the router. The outlet. The outlet is the problem because the outlet is constructing the components itself. It's not constructing it with like the way that we actually wanted to construct the component. I mean, we want the components to be constructed by lit HTML, and currently we're constructing it ourselves. It shouldn't be a problem, but probably the way is to move this thing on top because we already will have the router link that is defined, and then we're going to have the router.
So it should work.
I don't know. Oh, that's really interesting. I think that this should be the problem. Let's see. So we have the app component, which is the maybe the app component should be the last one. Can I access router component before it's initialized?
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
Yeah, it's here. It's inside the app module. Okay, let's I don't know. Let's move things a little bit. So what should be defined before the other one? I think that the app component should be the bottom one because it's our main component. Before that, what we need to have probably is test1 and test2 because these are the components that are on the bottom. And then we need the router component and the router link. Is this how it should be?
I'm not sure. Maybe the router should be above the router link, but let's try it out like this and see where that takes us.
Same thing.
Router link cannot access router component. Okay, so the router component is in use in the router link. So let's try that. But we were getting the same.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But here inside the router link component, where we're just like attaching it here. I'm not sure where we're using it, right? We're not using it anywhere. Okay, let's start a little bit simpler. Let's remove the router in the router link and let's just use the test1 and test2 because obviously we're having some issue that we cannot understand why it's happening. So let's just comment the router and then we'll kind of try to see why it's not working, to see currently if the other stuff is going to work. I think that the problem is here, this part.
Maybe.
So let's comment it and let's say return HTML. We're using this stupid create component function. Probably this is why. I think that this was the problem, yeah. Because we need to use for example, app test 1 or app test 2. We need to use the selectors and not the create component function that we developed before. We actually developed it because we didn't have another option to do it, but I think, yeah, probably this is the problem. Okay, let's see now if it's working. What the?
Same issue, what? Okay, is it?
This should be 3 shaken, so it should be...
Yeah, that shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't be the issue here.
Let's rebuild it, just in case. So, yeah, the other thing is probably because I'm using it here, which is importing it. Let's say like so, and yeah, I think maybe it should be fine now. Cannot access. Come on, man.
Router link component. What? Where? Okay, try rebuilding it.
Let me just look around. Here we're using the router component. Are we using the router link here somewhere?
I don't see it.
No, we don't. Yeah. And here we don't have anything else.
Yeah, we were only using the router component in the router link, and I think that was what it was complaining about. But it seems that wasn't the problem.
Okay, let's remove it from here as well. Okay, next issue. Okay, I think that now we're back on track. What I need to do now is just put this back to ECMAScript 5. And we should be fine. Let me just restart it. No.
We're back at square one.
Let me just move my windows a little bit. We have this, the adapter, and we have everything that we need. Inside the app module, we don't actually need a lot of things. Let's say we only need these two. I'm going to even remove this one. So, why is it failing? This is very strange. So what we're trying to decorate is the app component, and it says extends is not a function. Okay, let's go back into the package.json, not package.json, the tsconfig, and put it back to 2020. Restart it. This is very strange. Okay. App component cannot be invoked without new.
I have no idea why it's happening.
Yeah, it was. There was no problem before, but let's do this then. Let's do. I'm wondering how to do it, because I can easily say something like const instance equals new target, like so. I think I know why the problem is. Because what we're doing here inside the lit HTML, let's see where we're constructing our It was inside the template. What? Where are we constructing our? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I see why the problem is. So here we're getting the constructor and we're calling the new on the constructor, but what is actually being returned from the decorator? That's the question. And we actually see that, let me put it back, we're actually returning this component that we are creating here. Let's put a breakpoint here and see what's going on. This is the, what was it called, template instance. And let's say, well, it should be somewhere on the bottom, right? Actually, we do have some breakpoints, so there it is. Okay, let's see what's happening because it's very interesting. Why didn't it breakpoint? Why didn't the breakpoint work?
Strange.
Who's constructing the component? We are constructing it here. Actually, we are constructing the component. I forgot to put the new keyword here. Or no, we are using the create component function.
Yeah, we should
there. So probably this is the problem. Let's say the bootstrap. Inside the bootstrap, we have this create component that is. Maybe we should not do this, right? Why don't we just do something like new constructor? Even though it's the same thing, why not just do it? Let's try to see what's going to happen. Probably the same thing will happen, but let's see. Yep, cannot be called. And if we go back to ECMAScript 5, what was the problem there? Because
the extends not a function.
Yeah, but let's see where it's failing, on which part of the application. We're actually not even, no, we are coming here, and this
that's where it's
I wonder why we don't have the extents. Any ideas? I mean, it was working before.
Yeah, let's see what we changed.
Okay, so let's, for example, I don't know, comment some other stuff as well. So let's go inside the app module and let's comment this, and maybe even let's even comment this.
Let's see.
I don't know, or even like, let's just even not use the app module at all. I mean, let's go inside the bootstrap and just get the app component here. So app component. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm very curious why this thing is not working.
Why is it complaining?
Not sure. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it is. I need just.
Again, the same thing.
Very, very, very strange.
But it was working before. That's
Yeah,
very
that's the most strange part. The strangest.
So inside the tsconfig, we don't have any changes from what we had the previous time.
So right now, the only change is that we have the bootstrap in separate file.
No, the bootstrap, it was in a separate file as well in the previous. Let's see the previous commit. Let's go inside the. Let's actually go inside the commit 9. Oops, not 9. Commit 8. Commit 7. We're in 8 now. Commit 6.
No, we are in 9 now.
Yeah, but I'm using the previous.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The previous repo, so that's why. So let's go inside the commit 6, and because we don't have in the 7 commit, we were actually debugging only the delete HTML. So let's do yarn start or serve.
Just to mention that we have like a comment from Georgi who is saying to restart our server, but I guess we did that a few times. So
yeah, we did it a few times. Here it's working. There it is. Everything's working fine. And let's see how we did it here in the commit 6. I'm sure that it's not very different from what we currently have. We have the bootstrap, and inside the bootstrap, we're just providing the app component, and the bootstrap is just using this create function. It's exactly the same. Okay, let's do something else. Let's try to I've been restarting the server, as you see, a bunch of times. It's not working. But what we did not do is maybe try to remove the node modules and install it again. I don't know.
Yeah, let's try that.
I'm desperate. I'm desperate. I don't know what to do.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, that's very strange. I've never seen such a thing before. Okay. Inside the package JSON, we don't have delete HTML. That's pretty logical because we removed it. And we're using the one that we have locally. So let's say yarn serve. Okay.
Another thing that we can test is like just touch everything that you've changed and run the server and see if it works.
Oh, we need to also do. We also need to do is yarn link delete HTML.
Yeah, because we have the new one.
Sorry, Harry, you said to touch everything?
And just try to see if everything works without our changes, because I don't know.
And try re-adding them part by part.
All right, can you try that? I mean, like just git stash everything and see if the base works. I mean, like without our changes, everything is working.
Yeah, but it was working when we started the whole thing, so.
Yeah, I'm going to the directions. Let's do everything again because.
I agree. Let's try and going into the changes from the git changes and see and try reverting parts of them.
Actually, okay, yeah, we'll do that. I'm very interested because extents doesn't exist, right? That's what it says. I'm really interested in what actually gets produced from this. So let's do something else. Let's build it and see what the dist folder will contain. Do we have a script only for building it? No. So let's create one. You understand what I mean, right?
Yeah. So because we can look at the build code and see where the issue is.
Yeah. Let's do this. Yarn build. Anyways, if we don't have extents, we can do it the old school way by just using the function function way with the prototype. So inside the dist, we're going to have the main bundle, and yeah, it's not going to be very pretty actually.
Yeah,
just because we are using it Yeah, okay, let's do this then. We don't have extends, but who cares? Let's do it the old school way. Let's create a function. Yeah, why not? CMP. And this function, we're actually going to, how are we going to call this? That's very strange. So, okay, what were you suggesting again? I don't want to experiment anymore with this.
Yeah,
just to
reverting the changes.
Everything can do it again.
Okay, so you want...
Yeah, we can look at the changes and see, instead of reverting everything, because if we revert everything, it will work, because it was working when we started off. We can try just looking at what we changed and part by part bring it back.
Okay, well, I mean, okay, let's see what Harry is suggesting, because pretty much what Aleksander you're suggesting is the same thing, right? I mean,
yeah, but it's
let's see.
different to do the same.
Let's see if it's working from like the beginning, and if it's working, then we can do what you're suggesting, because otherwise it will take longer. Okay, let's say git stash save directory. Okay.
Did you add all changes before stashing them? Because I don't saw that.
Sorry?
Never mind. I mean, like, whatever. I don't saw if you had added all the changes before stashing them.
To add where?
Obviously you did. Obviously you did.
Okay, so let's now do... I don't know. I don't understand what Harry's going to say. Let's see serve. So inside the serve, yep.
Yeah, it's
everything's working. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, I mean everything's fine.
Yeah, we take the component, we bootstrap the component.
Okay, I think maybe just because we're linking the lit HTML, maybe this is the problem. So why not just try to link it here and see what's going to happen. So if I say yarn uninstall lit HTML, remove, yeah, it's remove, and say link yarn link lit HTML, and now we say yarn serve. Everything's working. I don't know, guys. I mean, this is super strange. We have some kind of error, but it doesn't matter. I mean, everything's working fine. Okay, so let's pop the stash then. Even though I have to remove everything that we currently did. So let me just discard the changes here and
discard all of them.
Doesn't matter. They're on the floor.
Oh, it doesn't. No.
Git stash pop. Okay, and now let's say yarn serve. Cannot find that module. Wait, what? I think we lost some stuff. Why?
Did we lose?
I'm not sure. Why did we lose the... Anyways, I don't know. I don't know what I did wrong, but it's obvious that the app module is not here anymore. But anyways, even though it's not here, we're not going to be using it, I guess. I'm getting a little bit angry at what's going on, and I really want to make things work. So let's see if they're going to start working now. And yet again, we have the same... Oh no, now we don't have any errors. Nothing is showing. Okay, the bootstrap function is getting the app component. It's constructing it. Okay, the current component was doing something else here as well. It was getting the inner HTML, which is something that's, yeah, this was, I remember why we did this, but it doesn't matter. Here we don't need it. So let's see the app component. The app component is using the test2 only. So probably now it's not working because it doesn't know how to create the test2, or yeah, probably. This means that here inside the bootstrap, or maybe this was the problem in the beginning, because we currently inside the component decorator are not providing the decorations, right? So here, if I do something like hg test2, right? Or test1. It was test2, hg test2, and we need the test2. Like so. Maybe it will show something.
Let's see.
Nope. Same thing. So this is the problem. This is the problem. This part is the problem, obviously. And I'm curious why. Very curious why. Because if I comment this, and if I go to the app component, and if I do maybe just like put some hello, we should see it. We should. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the problem that we are currently facing. For example, whenever we put a component here, for some reason, this is not working properly.
Oh, shit. By the way,
Okay.
we have a question in the comments, which is a quick one.
So the problem was linking the package as opposed to installing it. What does it mean to link it anyways? It's like a CDN? No. So if you watch the previous, or I think even the first episode, the linking allows you to have, for example, the package locally installed. There it is. So I've currently forked it from the lit.html repository. I kind of downloaded it on my computer, and here I'm building it and just modifying it. And if I do something like yarn link here in this repository, it will actually get the name and create, for example, a local register of all the link packages. And if I go to my other project and I say yarn link lit.html, it will actually create a link from this current project that I'm in, the commit 8, to this other thing that we currently have here. So it actually uses the local lit.html, this one here. So hopefully this answers the question.
It's like yarn install, but with a local package.
Yeah, it doesn't install anything. It just links the two things together.
But it adds it as a dependency, I think.
Okay, let's go back to what we. So, yeah, currently the problem is here that we're not providing anything, and we're getting close to the problem, but let's see why it's not working.
Yeah, we are. We have another question. So actually, we're just playing around with the source code. We're modifying it so that it fits our needs.
Yeah. So the idea was, because usually lit.html, what it does, it's whenever you call the HTML function, it actually creates this template instance. But this is not what we actually need. We want not only to create the instance, but also to create everything inside the template that we provide, the function, not the template, the template string. We want everything to get constructed and then to individually kind of control things. So yeah. Just go and watch the previous episodes and you're going to get it. Maybe the error has to do with the / in the...
No.
Yeah, but I think we are escaping it when we're actually building it.
No,
not escaping it, but handling it. I mean.
Yeah, I think no, everything's fine with this. The problem is the linking for some reason. So let's create our module again. TS, okay. It was HG test test component. Wait, we need a constant, right? Come on. Of course, TypeScript. Thank you very much. Or let's say not TypeScript, Visual Studio Code. Test2 components. For some reason, something's not working correctly. And let's see what that is. Okay, it's HG test2, so it's correct. And here inside the component, let's provide the app module. Okay. Obviously, the problem is, we found where the problem is. Now we need to understand why it's happening. So the problem is this thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
But I don't see any problem. I mean, like, it's there, but what is? I mean, like,
for some reason, whenever we are kind of I cannot answer. It's really strange. For some reason, it doesn't know that the extends keyword exists, and I'm not sure why. So the test2 components. Okay, let's do something else then. Let's not reference it like so. Let's do something like this. Oops. Should be declarations, so it does not even get to the point where you actually need to construct it. But what if we do like so? Is it going to break now? Same thing. I'm not sure why extends does not work. And this is on what target? The test2 component. Well, as good developers, what we need to do is copy this part and put it in Google and see
where that takes
what
us.
the others, what the others are saying.
I think these traits like RX related and Bentley, and in the comments they say that it's just TypeScripting and don't bother.
We've misspelled declarations in the app module, but I don't think that's...
No, I did it on purpose to see if this is the problem. But extends, I think that maybe there is like an answer here somewhere.
Not in this thread.
Are you sure?
I was just doing that. What you're doing right now.
Okay, which thread should we Check then.
If I had the answer, I would have already told you.
Yeah, it turns out I have circular importing class, which is apparently limitation. Are we doing this? So let's see if this test2 component, we're actually importing it somewhere else. Because yeah, if we're doing this, usually, for example, Angular complains. So let's see. Okay. Okay. I don't need this. This is not being used. So we're not doing any circular dependencies here, right?
Yep.
Okay, then it's already saved. Let's see. So we're inside the test2 component, and again, it's not working. It's not working for some reason.
I have honestly no idea.
Okay, I think I know where the circle dependency is coming from, guys, and it's really obvious actually. I'm surprised. I'm sleepy. That's all. So here we actually are getting the app model, right? So this is where the problem comes. So we have this app module that is used inside the component, but this component we are applying it to the app component and to the test2 component, and this is where the problem comes from. Do you get that?
Yep. So you're actually using that module which is referring to the other components which are not currently created.
So this is the circle dependency. This thing that is implemented, that it's inside it, we're doing the app module here. So this is where the circle dependency. Yeah. This is really tricky, but I think we found the issue. Okay, so what should we do then? Actually, how much time do we have left? We have a few. Yeah. That's interesting issue. Okay. Let's do something like so. So we're going to use the declarations. So this is why actually Angular has a dependency injection, and probably, and if we had dependency injection, I don't think that we were going to have this problem. But anyways, what if we then, what if we then do something else? I don't know. Let's say export function, export const, but it's going to be the same issue. We're going to have the same issue. Okay, so what if we then go to the app component and then we just don't use the add component on top? I don't know. Ideas? Any ideas, guys? But what if we, I don't know, like if we do like app components from app components, this is where the obvious circle dependency will be, because we're getting the app components and each individual app component is decorated with the add component decorator, and the component decorator uses this app module.
Yeah, circular dependency.
So we kind of need to separate those things. So the component decorator should not be importing the app module like so. So we need to somehow separate this thing.
Get the function without using the module.
So what if we just provide it here somehow?
Yeah.
Is this going to change things?
Why is it complaining right now?
I think because this function does not accept any arguments. But let's see if this is going to change things.
Yeah, and you have to update the queue interface.
Yeah. Well, this is why we don't want to be using TypeScript for now, because I mean everything's changing so much. So whenever we have created everything, probably it's going to be a good idea to do it. Let's say app module here. Of course, it's not going to find it. What I was thinking.
You missed the end, yeah.
Live coding, so fun. I think that this is actually not going to work as well. Yeah, this is not going to work because we inside the component decorator we are also using the work loop in both places. So I don't think I think that this is not going to work as well. But let's see.
Let's give it a try.
No, I think that it won't work. Anyways, let's check it out. Okay, so here we don't need that component. We only need this thing. And let's see inside the index.ts, we have the bootstrap. Inside the bootstrap, we're just creating our component like so. So let's restart the server, and yeah, we have a bunch of other comments. Yeah, I misspelled it on purpose, so I'm just trying to see what I was trying to see if this is the issue. But yeah, obviously we currently know the issue, so we need to somehow figure out a way to handle it.
So just like an idea, what if we, instead of like referring all the components and stuff, like a key the selector value the components, we are like just attaching the components when they're created in the global object somewhere and accessing like just through the selector the things from the global object, not through this object that we're constructing. And after that we get the context from global.
Yeah, probably this is going to work, but I don't like to be modifying the global object. That's the problem.
Not a good practice.
We need to somehow separate things. We need to somehow here. Let me just remove what we did here inside the work loop, because we're kind of like connecting the work loop to the app module, and actually it should not be connected at all. How should we do this? So I think that the issue is that here inside the component decorator, we should not import the app module like so to use it. We should be like getting the context that we provide here inside the get commit function from somewhere else, and it should not be from here as well. So where should we put this? That's the question.
Harry disappeared.
Yep. Well, he's very angry, so he
the frustration got to him.
By the way, we don't have an order that we add the scripts in. We're using Webpack. So I mean, if you're really like interested in what we're doing, just go and watch the previous episodes, because we started from like just doing a really simple applications, and then we're just building it over and over again. So you're going to see what the current configuration is. We're using Webpack to order everything for us, and this is where the problem comes, because actually this thing needs to be in 2 different locations, and this is why we have the issue. So this app module, like when we're using Angular, where does it come from? It actually comes from what? Probably the best idea, hello Harry, is to somehow get it from the constructor, right? Whenever we're constructing the component, if we say app module any, then yeah, this should work. Yeah, this should work. So whenever we're actually constructing our app component here inside the index, in the Bootstrap actually, we can provide the app module here. App module, like so. App component, actually it's kind of, yeah, we don't need this, but here it's complaining. I'm just going to say, can we do like, no, we need to force it somehow. This is because we are decorating it, and currently it does not understand that. I cannot say as any here, right? Or I can.
No.
Of course I can.
Oh.
Surprise, surprise. Okay, let's see now. We don't have an error. Okay. Let's go inside the component now and see what's happening here. Okay. Yep. Getting there. So we have the declarations. Now we need to provide it here inside the commit function. Yep, there it is. We're providing it. We get the commit function. And now what is left is actually to commit the changes. So that's probably why we're not seeing anything. Mm-hmm. So if we go to the work loop, we need to see what is the last part. So see what's happening inside the work loop. So let's see here and put a breakpoint here. Let's refresh. Okay. 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 And here we're calling commit. We're iterating all over the parts. We're committing the fragment. And yeah, but why nothing is showing up? That's the question now. Okay, wait, inside the app component, we are currently rendering test2, and inside test2, what do we have?
I think it was hello. Do you update it?
No, it's test2.
No, oh yeah, it's still test2. No mistake.
So the question is why it's not showing. We don't have any errors, and we actually saw that the problem was a circle dependency issue, even though nothing was showing. Oh yeah, look.
Yeah.
This is because we didn't make it to work with another dash. We only made it with one dash. So,
oh yeah.
yeah. This is why we need to modify it, but let's see if it's going to work first. So yeah, the regular expression is not correct. That's why whenever we modified delete HTML,
wasn't it test2? Yeah.
Yeah. And the
moment of truth.
Come on, why is it not working now? That's strange. Let's see what we have now. We do have.
It's still like that.
Maybe because of the 2. Yeah, I think that it's not catching the digits. It's only word characters, but it should be catching it, right?
Yeah, it ought to work.
No. The problem is inside the declarations.
Yeah.
Oops.
And 2.
Yep.
But I think you removed the 2 somewhere, so I think it will break again.
Okay, we have it here. We have it here as well.
Okay, it's okay. Oh yeah, okay, sorry, then I was mistaken. Okay, so it should work.
It should. Let's restart the server. This is getting really interesting.
So hectic.
Okay, it's still not working.
Why?
It still does not parse it correctly. So let's just do it.
Yeah, remove the 2.
Let's do it like so. Come on, man. That's so funny. It's still not doing it correctly. Why?
Okay, what are we missing?
Why isn't it? Did we? Let's build it again. I'm not sure. We're going to debug it to see what the problem is. Let's see if I misspelled declarations or something inside the module, app module. Declarations, right? HG tests, okay. And here we have the test2 component, which is HG test. And yeah, everything seems okay. Okay, let's debug it then. We're going to go inside the template instance and see why it's not catching it. Okay, putting the breakpoint here. We're creating the app component, then we're calling the commits. Okay, we enter here. Oops, I think I missed it, right? Yeah. Okay, let's repeat slowly. There it is. We're here. Now, no, this is not the correct place. We need to be in the template instance. And we're not getting there at all. Okay. I think I know why.
Enlighten us, please.
I'll show you.
Mark.
I'll show you why.
In the commit function, okay, the instance, okay.
So let's see. We're not going there at all because where is it located? Template instance. It's here somewhere, right? We have the context.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there it is.
We're iterating all on the individual nodes. Why are we not? That's super strange. Let's put it here then. I don't know. We should enter it at a certain point.
Okay. We're getting the commit function.
Here we're creating the instance. There it is. Okay, yeah. Let's debug now to see where it's breaking.
It's the worker part index. Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
We didn't enter the part in the scroll it up, so let's see. We don't have any parts or what?
It's the topmost element. It doesn't have any children, so that's why. So we did not expect that. So if I go to the app component and then maybe just do like so, it will work. It should work, right?
Hopefully.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, it's the topmost element. That's why it's not working.
Yeah, and it doesn't have any children, so we don't enter the loop.
Okay, let's see.
Come on, parts. Okay, what do we have in the parts?
No, again,
what?
Wait, inside the parts, this is the problem. We don't have any binding. We don't have any binding on the component.
All right, let's add a binding.
Yeah, let's add a binding. Yeah, we need to do other stuff, I guess, on the function inside the template instance. Now it should go there. There it is. No, that's not this. Okay.
Okay. There we are. Parts. Yes, we have a part. Yes.
Yeah. So this is the issue. We need to somehow fix this. But let's see. Come on. There it is. Okay.
Come on, man. That's
a bunch of interesting stuff. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that we actually, not a lot, but there's a few things that we need to change inside the template instance. So the first thing is that whenever we don't actually have any parts, so we are iterating, we're kind of counting on that we have some kind of a part that is connected to our element, but this is not the real scenario, right? I mean, if we don't have any parts, these are the dynamic parts that DHTML puts, we need to somehow iterate here as well, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but this is something that we'll leave for the other episodes because it's already 12.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess we're going to have a part 4. But
the adventure continues.
anyways, we fixed a major issue.
Yeah, and we found a major flaw.
Yeah, the only problem now is how are we going to change it, because this is interesting, because we are kind of expecting that whenever we are calling the original, like our function, we are always providing the app module that we are currently in. So yeah, I don't know. We're going to think about it next time and yeah, kind of fix it. But yeah, if I see that people are happy for us that we kind of
we all are.
So if you have any ideas, you can like post them in the comments. If you have any ideas how to fix this, but really want to make it work like Angular does. So maybe the dependency injection is a good thing to have it right now. And what do you guys think? I think that it's something that we really need, because as you see, like we're counting here on the dependency injection to provide the different things. So sounds logical to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's...
Anyways, so next time we're going to fix this inside our lit HTML that does not render the components whenever we don't have parts. So this means that we're going to play around with this tree walker that is getting generated here. And if we don't have a part, we are going to construct in the templates the functions again. So yeah, and hopefully we're going to start working on our dependency injection mechanism so we can kind of fix the issue that we had today. And yeah, I think that this is all for today's episode. Guys, if you have any picks, you can say.
Oh, I not have anything to add or something interesting to mention. Harry?
I'm not sure that the pick that I have for today, I mentioned it like the last time or maybe before that, but however, I'll go again. So recently I had like experience with React Native and the whole ecosystem around React Native with the Expo stuff and everything around, and it's kind of like a pleasure to create mobile apps with React Native and the Expo platform. So give it a try. I mean, it's like the easiest setup that I ever had for any kind of development. I mean, because if you are like, I don't know, starting with create React app and stuff, there's like some bottlenecks, something doesn't work or whatever. But in the combination, the mix of Expo and React Native and stuff, I mean, like I just write it, install, play, whatever. There was like nice tutorial, get your phone, check this QR code, and everything just started to work. I was amazed. I mean, I totally did nothing, just
it's really good.
Type few commands, and yeah, and you have mobile app for iOS and Android, and soon we'll have also a web version, which is like very nice.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Whew. Okay, I think that
today.
we're ready to go have some lunch and prepare for the quest next time. I really thought that this is going to be the last part where we're actually modifying lit HTML. But yeah, I mean, building a front-end library, it's not a very easy thing, as we see.
Obviously.
But at least it's fun. Anyways, hopefully it was like, how should I say, useful for everybody who like watches the episodes. I mean, we're just like playing around. I mean, but at least there are a lot of things that you can understand, even though if you're not writing something similar, even if you're just using Angular or React or whatever library, these concepts that we're kind of like trying to implement are everywhere, and the problems that we're hitting are certain problems that you are going to hit if you do more complex stuff. So I think that the episodes are pretty useful for everyone, but I don't know, that's my opinion.
They're useful for me, I mean.
Yeah, for me as well. So,
and after we finish like the library, we're going to start doing some more like, I don't know, React, Angular, Vue stuff. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, there are going to be different episodes. It's not going to be only this thing.
Different adventures, so to say.
Yeah, there are going to be different adventures. But first, let's finish what we started.
Oh yeah, of course, that's important. Okay.
Okay, well, it was a pleasure, everyone, and hopefully we'll see each other next Saturday. And yeah, bye for now, and have a good weekend and nice week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.